I'm Lewis, and this is Chaos. On tonight's show, we have a number of things happening. Basketball skills 101 is one of those things. How to manage the ball. We've got Aunty Gert coming up on the show tonight. We got panel beaters. We've got in stitches with Barry. Bazza. We've got Youth Matters with the guys from ReachOut. Find out all about that in una momento. We've got Idiot Box with Sarah and Matt. And lots of other stuff as well. Right now I'm going to introduce Natalie to tell us who we've got in for our band tonight.
Hi, Lewis. Hello. You're looking well as always.
Come on in, Natalie.
Look, I always come.
Allow me to introduce Natalie.
Look, I'm not shy in coming forward. I just go anywhere uninvited. So, but
Really?
yeah. Oh. And you're looking well as always.
You don't get invited anywhere?
True.
So you've had to build that.
If anyone wants to invite me anywhere, I'll be there. I'll without an invitation.
You only go if they don't invite you.
That's true. Actually,
if
that
they invite
is
you, go. Oh, any invitation.
Well, any party,
any place that wants going to.
Yeah, any place that wants me at its party. Well, it's probably not worth me going then.
That's right.
So. But enough about my social life. I mean.
Oh no, let's talk more.
Let's get on to the band. Well, actually, it's a solo artist tonight. John Hibbert's been in with us before a few years ago with his band Kind, but tonight he's here on his own, solo. So welcome to Chaos TV, John Hibbert.
How they grow more and more every day now. See how they know, how they go. Now they're older. The sunrise in their eyes clings to my appetite. One time, one surprise comes by, loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry. Raspberry sea that you and me get to play in. See how they grow more and more every minute. The sunrise in their eyes clings to my appetite. One time, one surprise comes by, loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry. Loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry, loves to try, loves to cry.
Thank you.
Hi. Welcome, John.
How you doing?
Good, I'm good. Thanks for coming in. Now, you are part of a band, Kind, but you're here on your own tonight. So tell us a little bit about Kind and where are they? Where are the rest of them?
Actually, the drummer's in Scotland, so he's not going to be here tonight.
He couldn't have made the effort to sort of fly back just to appear on Chaos?
Well,
or?
I did ask him, but he didn't like the ask. So.
I'm disappointed.
But I'm happy to do it. I've got sort of equipment to do drums and bass anyway, so it's pretty good.
Now, you were saying earlier off camera that you guys are recording a single soon, which you're very excited about, I think were your words.
Yeah, sure am. I'm happy to record a single and sort of try and get it on radio as soon as possible, so we can sort of go up and down the coast and tour it and promote it as much as we can.
Is it going to be that song that you just did for us? Or
yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
Well, we've seen the debut of your single even before it's released as a single.
Sure have,
so
yeah.
Chaos is very privileged.
I hope you liked it.
We did. It was really lovely. So thank you so much for coming into Chaos TV. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, they can contact you at your website, which is they can contact you via greenroombands@hotmail.com. So if you want to get in touch with John or find out about Kind or any info, send them an email, greenroombands@hotmail.com. All the best.
I'm actually playing at the Green Room in a couple of weeks.
Which
is in Zetland.
In Sydney, Green Square Hotel. All right. Well, thanks very much for coming in. We really appreciate you
Thanks
taking
very
time.
much. Yeah.
And say hi to the other guys for us. And
will do.
Tell them what they missed out on not coming to Chaos. We'll see you next week. Big thanks to John Hibbert. See you.
Thanks very much.
Hey, back in the safe hands of your captain. So there's a bit of a green theme happening there. Nat's got the green top on, green eye makeup, and he's playing at the green, and I don't know, there's lots and lots of green going on. There's a bit of smoking of the green stuff as well in Natalie's case, I think. But right now we're over to Idiot Box with Matt and Sarah!
Hello there, little idiot people in the world of idiot boxes. How are you doing tonight on Friday night? Gee whiz, I'm feeling pretty crash on. How are you? Listen, I've got Sarah here with me. Sarah, what the hell have you been watching?
Crime and weddings, weddings and crime, crime with a bit of a wedding in it, wedding with a bit of a crime in it. I'm a bit confused at the moment.
What about no murders?
Plenty of murders, actually. Now, from the soapy nature of the bill on good old Aunty at the moment, which is kind of rivaling Neighbours in the soapy stakes of unbelievable storylines, to the deadly serious nature of Forensic Investigators on Channel 7 with our Lisa McCune. So they're giving her another career, lifelong breath. Interesting program. They're actually reopening unsolved murder cases and really, really revealing. And then it's going psychic because on Channel 10, Rebecca Gibney again rebirthing her career again. So it's kind of talking about death and reincarnating people's careers on TV at the same time. Rebecca Gibney, psychics talking about unsolved mysteries too. So they're jumping on the bandwagon. So, yeah, it's a bit grim and nasty, really. But weddings.
It's not all grim and nasty. It's not all grim and nasty. I forget what night it's on. Chasers on Thursday night with the election coming up October 9th. Don't forget it's Sean Lennon's birthday as well. That's Lennon's birthday, strangely enough, so you can celebrate both. Anyway, Chasers back on. Very good TV to watch. They'll be taking the piss out of all politicians. None will be spared. Make sure you tune in. This is actually replacing a show called Eagle and Evans, a couple of Australian guys. And that's been a very funny show. These guys are like the warm-up act for a supposed TV host, and you don't really see too much of him, but they all go backstage. Lots of funny skits in between. They will later come on after the Chaser finishes their set programs, so keep ahead of that and make sure you do watch. It's quite good TV. Also, Sandman, a.k.a.
Steve Abbott.
He's on SBS, and it's not a bad show. This will probably creep up on you. It's a bit of a different sort of Tonight show, Tonight in Siberia, with his mother as a co-host, and also on a cooking show they do together, and that's pretty good TV as well. So make sure you tune into that on Thursday nights.
It's a bit unpredictable too, because you know the Sandman had a bit of a reputation for getting the gear off, and the other night allegedly they did have some streakers on, and some very funny cricket umpires doing a bit of a routine as well. So that was actually really, really good. Now, I talked about murders before. I talked about weddings. There are a couple of wedding programs on at the moment. Marty and Jess getting married. They actually got hitched last week. Channel 10 are trying to take advantage of this non-event by making a 6-part series. So picture a lot of sheep, a bit of dust, a lot of colloquialisms, aka Marty, and a bit of white confetti at the end. And I think that's it. Australian Idol meets World's Worst Weddings, perhaps. But also on SBS, the same night on Wednesday nights, they're actually doing a 3 or 4 part series about weddings. So it's a bit of a fly on the wall view about weddings. So if you're heading up the aisle or heading to the divorce office, it might be something worth watching. Quite curious anyway.
Sure.
Yes.
What about garbage men? Why don't they have a show about garbage men? I'm sure they have a pretty funny career themselves. They should have something about garbage men, I think.
I'm sure forensic investigators will probably implicate some garbage men in finding body parts somewhere.
Sure.
So, they'll probably get their 5 minutes of fame there.
Also, I guess fans of Survivor going into, what is it, season 6 or 7 that's coming back on again, Vanuatu style. They've got to go with one leg, stuff like that. Girls with big bosoms, girls versus boys, all that shenanigans again. So make sure if you're a fan of that show, you tune in, if I can speak English. But I think we've got bugger all else to say about TV.
Just my little critique for the week, and I probably will offend some people out there, but the OC, I'm not getting it. I watched it the other night, and while we were talking about the subject matter of girls with big bosoms, not getting a story. I just,
Thorpe gets it. Thorpe watches it. He's a big fan.
Good on you, Thorpe. I just did straight over my head, and I was loving Beverly Hills from way back, but Aaron Spelling, sorry, I'm just not getting the picture. So.
What about Beverly Hillbillies? That's even better. Great stuff.
Oh, great.
Listen, I think that's about all for us. We'll wrap it up here. And if it wasn't for television, what the hell would you be doing right now? What we're going to do is throw to Lewis and Reach Out, the people from Reach Out. So tune into this. I'll see you in ensuing weeks.
See you
Adios,
later.
amigos.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to Youth Matters. I'm Lewis, and tonight's guests are Marianne Webb and Nathan Burton. Did I say to make them feel welcome? No, don't make them feel welcome, alright? Jeez, I don't know, feel no direction. Nathan, now you're actually an ambassador, youth ambassador.
That's right.
Whereas Marianne, you're more involved with the creation side of...
Yeah, website manager.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the website and how you two interact.
Okay, well, Reach Out is a website that helps young people get through tough times.
Mm-hmm.
So it has information and resources that young people can access any time of the day.
Youth don't have tough times though. They got the youth, what's the problem? What are they complaining about, Marianne?
Well, they do, yeah.
Youth today, they're always whinging about something, aren't they?
Yeah, and well...
what are some of the tough times that youth face that they would maybe contact yourself or the website?
I guess there's a range of things. There's still a lot of stigma around mental illness, so depression, anxiety, also relationship troubles, and having a place where they feel that they can go to anonymously and check out and find out some information about getting through those tough times.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also information, stories by other young people who have got through that tough time and sort of share their experience, as well as interviews of famous people talking about their tough times too. So yeah.
Famous people have tough times as well.
It's true, yeah.
I don't have any tough times whatsoever, and I'm incredibly famous. And I was once youthful. So Nathan, what's your go in all of this?
Yeah, well,
sorry, just throwing out the youth talk. What's your go? What's the GO, bro?
Doing a good job. Yes, as you said before, I'm a youth ambassador. So my role is to help the Reach Out crew develop content for the website. So they'll give us some information. We'll have a look at it and say we think it's cool or it's crap, or and we'll give them we'll give our constructive feedback to them about things to make it more friendly to young people. So
constructive feedback.
Absolutely, always constructive. Always.
Were you ever young? Hello. Do you know what's going on?
Sometimes it's a bit like that, but they like to think they do a really great job, and they do. They do a fantastic job. They do a good job.
And are you popular because you prop them up like that? You do a good job, even though I just scrapped 20 of your ideas and you've got nothing else to show me, but you're plugging away, and I think that's great.
Yeah, that's exactly
At 32, you can still come up with ideas, even though they're unrelated to the youth and you're totally out of touch, but you're having a go, and that's great.
Yeah. Feeding Aussie
Does it feel
spirit.
like that, Marianne?
Well, no, not at all. No, it actually works. Well, I think it works really well. We have a really good relationship with all our youth ambassadors.
How many youth ambassadors are there, sorry?
There's around 120 spread around the country, so that's regional and rural as well as in the cities. So it's a really, and cross-section of people from different backgrounds too. So, and the main communication is through online forums and occasionally meeting up for events and stuff like that. So yeah.
So how do you deal with, the country bumpkins trying to have a say in what's cool? I mean, we are in Williams for crying out loud, what do they know about fashion?
Well...
How hard is it to gel all those different subcultures into one, product that's going to appeal to youth as a whole?
Yeah, probably easier than you'd probably think. I think at the core is that there's the issues that people face in the country actually are very similar to those that young people face in the country. So isolation or depression and all those relationship problems, and they're the same no matter where you are. And I think that's why our youth programs work so well, is that there's that common element and that ability to want to contribute and help other people through tough times.
Now, is there just the website, or is there, you've introduced SMS or something?
Yeah, look, we are a website. We are a virtual organisation for most of the time, but we've just launched a trial SMS campaign, so recognising that young people use SMS and mobiles a lot, and also that our service is something that can explore that area. So we're having, around the exams, it's a free trial of tips and suggestions for managing stress and study tips as well.
Oh, so, right. So you just sent him out a little message, get over it, you whinger.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can really get on with my day now.
Yeah, we've tried to be a bit more tactful than that.
Why? Didn't you tell her? You just keep it real. That's what we do here at Chaos, keep it real.
Well, we wanted to decrease, rates of depression and that. So
we'll just feed them statistics. Did you know that, 1 out of 10 people whilst doing the HSC commit suicide?
Well,
oh, wow, great.
Yeah.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
That's trying to tell me. Oh, my God.
I think that's where that's sort of where it came from, that knowledge that the HSC is a really tough time for most young people, and just there's a lot of study tips on time management and remember to get lots of sleep, but actually not a lot out there about young people and dealing with stress and expectations and feeling as if, oh my God, if I don't do well, it's the end of my life, and and just I guess supporting young people. I just
remember when I was doing the HSC, and one particular exam, I just thought, how hard would it be just to throw myself in front of a car and then I'd still be okay, but I have a doctor's certificate and then I could get out of the HSC this particular exam, and it all made sense and it all came into place and it seemed the reasonable, kind of. And maybe if I just studied and had an SMS from yourself, to wake me up in the morning,
right.
Put a spring in my step, I wouldn't have been thinking these crazy thoughts, and I'd still be here today. No way I am here today. Yeah. But I wouldn't have the fake leg that I've got.
Yeah.
That's all important.
Yeah.
But I think it sounds like a great service, and I think we've got some information that we'll put up on the screen for you right now. Reachout.com.au should be up there, and the number to call 0427 458377.
Yep.
Is that right?
SMS the word chill to that number and it'll sign you up to get weekly tips.
Chill, eh? So there you go, chill. And chaos, just text chaos. Just to mess with their system. What? Oh, that Lewis, I tell you, he's a crazy one. He's a psycho.
We have people for you to come around, yeah.
Do you have special messages for me?
Oh, yeah.
The personalities and famous people. Wasn't there something about famous people you were saying that on the website?
Yeah, we do interviews with celebrities or athletes or musicians.
I'm free to give you some of my time.
Okay, well I'll be in touch.
Yeah. All right, we can talk about that whole throwing myself in front of the bus episode.
No worries.
I think it would be really beneficial to the youth. What do you think, Nathan?
I think it'd be a great idea.
There you go. Thanks very much to Nathan and Marianne from Reach Out. That's been Youth Matters for another week. Yeah. I'm throwing a Rove. Rove, if you'd like to take it from here, buddy. Now, this will be the first episode of a two-part intense scrutinisation of media moguls in Australia today. I grilled him rather harshly, and quite frankly, I wasn't happy with what I came up with. It's very surprising when you start to scratch the surface, especially these young, famous people. It goes straight to their head. You need someone like me, someone that's free of ego, giving. You be the judge. Me, Rove. I think we all know the decision you'll make. Over to Rove and myself on the set of Rove. Okay, everybody, I'd like to make welcome our guest on Chaos tonight, Rove McManus.
Thank you very much.
Rove.
Pleasure to be on Lewis Live.
Right.
Thank you very much.
It's the next show, actually.
It is. We've just knocked down a couple of letters. We've got the O.
Yeah,
we'll work our way on.
We were thinking about doing that, actually, but a few problems with the lighting, apparently. Tell us about your tonight's show on Channel 31.
The Loft Live that we had on 31. It's very similar to, or it was very similar to the American formats. Me sitting behind a desk with the two chairs. I guess it's similar in format to what Sean McAuliffe does at the moment, with him sitting behind the desk and his guest sitting adjacent to him. So it was very similar to that. Opening monologue, we had a few regular segments and I think about 2 or 3 interviews a show, a stand-up guest and a band, in a nutshell.
Oh. Was it a stand-up comedian?
Yes, we would have a stand-up comedian every week. A different person would come on as a guest comedian, similar to what we have on Rove Live at the moment.
And you'd do a stand-up comedian section yourself on that show?
No, I would do, as I do now, I would do an opening monologue, we'd call them. I don't know what we called them back then, probably the same thing. And but we would have a guest comedian would appear every week on the show.
Okay. And did you scout for those yourself, or?
Oh, I did. Most of them were just friends. I just knew were around. And
so you had to recycle them every 3 weeks then?
Yeah, because I had 3 friends. Wow, thank you very much. That's very generous of you. We just sort of scout people, and also once we were up and running, you know, people were coming to us and saying, "Hey, can I come on and do a spot?" So we certainly didn't run out of people.
Yeah, right. How long did it take you to get establish a bit of a reputation, where you got to the point where people were coming to you rather than you chasing them?
I think our first run was 6, maybe 7 weeks, and after that we did okay. About halfway through our very first series, we had the Leader of the Opposition in Victoria on as a guest, which was a big deal, and I think for us that was a bit of a turning point, because up until then, our very first show we were meant to have, and I'm not afraid to name names here, we were meant to have Jeremy Sims on. Yes, Chance's star, Jeremy Sims.
Was he going to do that naked, or?
Unfortunately, no. He was doing he's got a theatre company, I think, Pork Productions, a theatre company.
Pork Chop, isn't it?
Pork Chop Productions, yes. And so he's going to come on and talk about that. They were doing a production of Hamlet or something. And I was just about to walk out, live tweet, just about to walk out to open my very, very first show. And our assistant producer came up, tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Don't introduce Jeremy Sims, he's not here yet." And he just didn't show up. And we called him up and said, at the end of the show, "What happened?" "Oh, I forgot it was on."
He forgot.
So
respect.
That was the kind of clout we had, Lewis, at the very start. So much clout, people didn't even feel the need to turn up.
And how's that carried on now? Now that you've got your own show?
Now they turn up, thankfully.
But have you got Jeremy Sims on the show? Have you said, "No, he's not coming on my show"?
Simsy doesn't stand a chance, not on my watch. Oh, you probably will, I don't know. If he ever had something to promote, it would be a very interesting story to tell. I don't know if he'd ever remember that. I did do an interview with him later on. He apologised, and we got him back on the show, and he did a make good. But I don't know if he'd remember that.
So you don't hold a grudge?
No grudge.
How disappointing. The power. Unleash the power.
I know.
Make them pay.
They will pay all
for those early days when you were trying to make it. And
just go, yeah, so knock me back.
Exactly. So how did you get from Channel 31 to where you are now?
Well, first off, it was Channel 9. I was doing little bits and pieces in between. I had a few regular spots on Good News Week and Recovery and shows like that. But it was Channel 9. Our current executive producer was working at Channel 9 at the time, and our series producer, our current series producer as well. The two of them, I think it was around at the moment. Our series producer Rob really had noticed me and alerted our executive producer Craig Campbell.
Removing from the premises.
This kid is good. Stop him now. So they had got a few tapes, and I don't know whether some of the guests we had on the show, because we had a few Channel 9 people come on the show. We had a good reputation with 9 actually. They were very forthcoming with their guests. They were very happy to hand their talent over, which was nice. So I think from that they just became aware of what I was doing, and unbeknownst to me, a few tapes were being circulated, and then a call came through.
Was that a deliberate strategy on your behalf to sort of get in good with Channel 9 and, you know?
No, not at all. I actually thought they were full of shit when they called me up. They said, you know, I had a meeting with them and they said, you know, we're interested in... I didn't know it was a meeting. It was just I happened to bump into them, and they had all been planned by them, but I was a little unaware of that. And there's all this talk of, oh, so, you know, what are you doing? And we've got a few slots open at 9. You'd be good for that, we think. And so I thought, oh, yeah, sure, but you hear about that kind of thing all the time in this industry, so I didn't think too much of it. Next day, my manager called me up and said, did you have a meeting with someone from Channel 9 last night? And I said, I think so. And he said, well, you should tell me when these things happen, because they've made a bid and they're willing to talk and all this kind of stuff.
So they deliberately orchestrated it so your manager wasn't around?
I was out with another friend, a friend of a friend who knew Craig, who's now our executive producer. And he was at 9, and then this guy said, I'm just going to have drinks with a friend of mine at 9. You know, why don't you just come along? And I thought, I was going to go home, but he was giving me a lift, so I said, well, all right, I'll tag along. So I thought I was going along to just two friends are catching up, and I'm just going to be the third spoke in the wheel. But as it turns out, it was all a ruse.
I see. And what's been your most unsuccessful moment on television, would you say?
We had a stand-up comedian on whose name was Scott Capurro, and he said some stuff which got us in a whole lot of trouble. So that was.
This was on The Loft, or?
No.
You didn't have to worry about trouble back in those days, did you?
No way. I don't think we had much controversy on The Loft, except for when equipment would blow up and things like that. And there was one show we had to actually drag. The show we finished about 15 minutes early because our microphones blew up. We had no sound.
That's nothing. That's
as if that would ever happen. But yeah, this other incident was while we were on Network 10, live to a nationwide audience of over 1 million people. And
what happened there? Well,
he just said some. A lot of the material was about having sex with religious deities, and so it surprisingly got us into a bit of trouble.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
those things can. And also, so who's been your most intimidating guest? Would you say?
Intimidating? I guess.
Do you get intimidated by your guests ever?
Intimidated? Not really. I still get very excited when we get people on. Most of the people we get on, I'm a fan of what they do. So it's actually especially when the wrestlers are on. So it's very hard to tread. You got to tread that fine line of being very eager to talk, but not too eager. You don't want to be going, oh my god, and can you sign this?
For my mum.
Yeah, of course. Whose name is Rove too.
Yeah.
As luck would have it. Yeah. I guess the first time we had Russell Crowe on, I was a bit intimidated. I thought, he's a very imposing man, and he has a bit of a reputation, but he's a sweetheart. He's lovely, but he was wonderful, and we actually get along quite well now. So it's all. I think after an incident like that, you realise, oh look, most of these people, you wait until they get here before you make any judgment of what they're going to be like. Because most of them, the more famous people I meet, the more I realise they're actually most of them are very down to earth and no different to the rest of us.
Right. So
stuck up.
Yeah, like who?
I'm trying to be funny.
Oh. No one's stuck up in show business, of course.
No.
I know. But I think I taught him what intimidation was all about. Anyway, normally I'd say something hysterical right now, but out of respect for our next comedian, I'll play it down. I don't want to upstage. So without any further ado, over to Barry with our segment In Stitches.
Hey. Thank you. G'day, my name's Barry, but that's what you get if your parents hate you. No, they did. My brothers are named Mark and John. I actually took the trouble to read the Bible once. I'm sure that's about how often my parents read it. There's no Barry in there anywhere, And I got the hint that they hated me by the presents that they bought me. Like when I was 12, I got a sleeping bag. When I was 13, I got a tent. When I was 14, I got a suitcase. I said to me, Mum, what's going on? And she said, well, isn't it obvious, idiot? But people think I hate my parents, but I got a lot to thank them for. Actually, I grew up in the fashion capital of the world, Mount Druitt. No, what are you laughing at? I saw girls there 25 years ago with tattoos, short denim skirts and Ugg boots. at the same time, yeah. I'm waiting for next. What is it, flannelette dressing gowns down the shops or something, yeah? You know, that'll be good, won't it? But it was tough growing up there. Like, you know, things were a bit of a problem. But when I got a car, it was a real drama. I got a flat tyre. And I jumped round the back of the car changing the tyre, and I heard the bonnet pop open. So I ran round, and there's a bloke under there with a screwdriver. I said, "What's going on, mate?" He spun round with the screwdriver. I said, "It's all right, mate. You can have the tyres. I just want the battery." I said, "It's my fucking car, mate. And you can have the battery. Just put the screwdriver down." But that wasn't the end of my trouble. I had to then get the NRMA to come and convince them that I got the car there without a battery in the first place, eh? Well, that was a problem. I've been watching a lot of television, actually. That was a problem, you know. No, actually, I'll tell you about Mount Druitt. You know why they built a shopping centre there? Yeah, that's so that people with no teeth and tattoos can find husbands too. Oh, no, look, I used to be married. So you go, I used to be married. I met a bloke once who told me his wife was an angel. I said, "You're lucky, mate. Mine's still alive." No, see, I got into trouble because I met a bloke who told me that his ex-wife was dead. And I asked him how much it cost. Well, I got to know, you know, he might have got away with it. But I said I was watching a lot of television, and they were talking about Idiot Box before, and, you know, television and all that sort of stuff. And that sort of reminded me of a show I saw recently with reality TV, you know. It was called The World's Stupidest People. Did you see that one? Never mind, we won, you know. No, I'm watching all these Americans snapping themselves, and they go, "The winner from Australia," because that's how they say it, you know. And this oxygen thief got himself up on top of a concrete toilet block, got on a push bike, doused himself in petrol, set himself alight, and tried to jump off a ramp into, and I kid you not, a pile of cardboard boxes and mattresses. Fair income. And they put him out, and the television interviewed him, you know, and said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "Well, you know, I wanted to show my son what you can achieve." And I thought they should use that video as a protest against sperm donation, you know? No, because obviously that kid's dad was a wanker, wasn't he? Yeah. That's terrible. But I said before, I'm always in trouble, you know, always getting into trouble, and usually it's because of the things I say, and if you've been listening to me, you'll know why. But it was my girlfriend's birthday the other day, and I said to her, "What do you want for your birthday?" And she said, "Can you buy me something just for me?" And I thought, for once I can do that, so I said vacuum cleaner, and I had to duck. Yeah, no, that's terrible, isn't it? So, like, vacuum, that's not nice. No, it was a birthday. She is here in the audience, and I shouldn't be nasty to her. It was a birthday, and I said to her, "Darling, what would you like for your birthday?" And she said, "I like surprises." So I said, "Well, I slept with your sister." No, and she said that wasn't a surprise, because she reckoned I'd sleep with everything, you know. And I said, "Yeah, but the surprise was I didn't think your sister would, eh?" No. All right, well, I haven't got much else to say. I'm going to go. But one thing I really hate is people who don't actually listen to the questions that they ask. You know, they ask those stupid questions. So next time you get "What do you know?" next time, I've been developing a bit of list. You want to try some of these, you know. So next time someone says, "What do you know?" try these. Steamrollers don't roll steam. There's no bones in tripe. Eggs don't bounce. A nod's as good as a wink to a blind man. As my dad used to say, just because you got a head like a spark plug doesn't necessarily make you a champion. Thank you.
Oh dear, well done, Barry. I really enjoyed that. I've got a sweetie here for you. Because you did so well. There you go, aren't you a good boy? Now, Barry, what on earth drives a person to decide to stand up stage making themselves look ridiculous?
Well, I guess what I was trying to do was find out what I was good at, and I realised I was good at drinking, hanging around in pubs and making people laugh. So it was a natural progression from there, wasn't it?
I'd say it would be, yes. And so how long have you been doing it for?
Nearly 2 years now, so just trying to get in.
Getting in, yes, and obviously you're enjoying it, you're still doing it. What do you know?
Not much.
Not much. There we go. Barry, so are you doing much sort of interstate work, or is it all around Sydney?
No, it's all at Sydney at the moment, so doing the pubs around Sydney and bits and pieces. So hopefully we'll get people. If someone sees it, give me a ring.
Ever thought of going down to Melbourne for their Melbourne Comedy Festival?
That's early next year, and that's the plan. So
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Well, if you're watching in Melbourne, darlings, look out for Barry. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Right, well, give him a round of applause. Thank you. They're a bit slow tonight, boys and girls. Now we're going over to panel beaters.
Hello and welcome to Panel Beaters. I'm Lewis, and on tonight's panel, don't make them feel welcome, by the way. We have Danielle, Natalie, and Sarah. Hi. Boo hiss. The article that we're going to be talking about, or that prompted this discussion tonight, was the fact that a 16-year-old girl was killed because she was wearing headphones and didn't see the tram coming and then was just taken out by the tram. And so the question is, what is going on with all these headphones? Are they a major safety risk? What do we do about them? Should we create laws, etc., etc., etc.? Sarah?
Yeah, well, of course, and it's more of a problem now.
Of course, what? Create a law?
Yeah, well, definitely.
Make a bylaw? Should it be local council? Should it be across Australia?
I have no idea.
Worldwide?
But, I mean, they're policing people for using mobile phones in cars, so, you know, I think the same should happen. I was driving the other day and I saw a guy with headphones on, and it was like, hang on, that's ridiculous. That's like, you know, eating and being what is this? Phone at the same time, like, you know.
What's this? I know, it sounds like...
Turns into strange. No, but I mean, seriously, and you see more people using them. When the technology is more available these days, people are going to use it. And, you know, it's like there's no little disclaimer or anything that I don't think the suppliers give you anything to say, oh, by the way, you shouldn't be using this when, you know. I mean, it's not that it's the supplier's responsibility.
Yeah, it's not their responsibility to enforce these things.
Well, what about, you've got hands-free, right? They say you can't use mobile phones in the car.
People still do anyway.
Yeah, you got the hands-free where you plug it in and then you got a little microphone and speaker and stuff like that, and you hear what's going on. Maybe we should just go back to the old ghetto boxes so that, you know, you can still have one ear out the side and be, you know, and it's a good look, I think, walking down, you know, it's like having a case on the shoulder or something sort of...
But how's that going to work? Because a lot of people have the headphones when they're exercising and walking around parks, and that's sort of, although I guess it could be like a weight, it should be weight, like a bit of extra weight for them.
Exactly, you know, you're doing a shoulder workout, back workout,
hand weight.
Swap, you know, so you get the whole workout.
I can see where you're going with that.
That's the problem with these obese teenagers that listen to music all the time. They're not picking up a ghetto blaster, you know, it's all so compact and small, they don't have to do anything. They've got remotes, little tiny Discman, MP3 players, you know, it's too easy, that's the problem. Natalie, what do you think?
Well, I mean, this is obviously very tragic what happened to this, you know, this poor girl. But I'm just thinking it's going to be really hard to sort of police that type. I mean, you know, what are police going to be walking around sort of go, well, you've got your headphones on, take them. I mean, it's just going to be really hard to police that sort of...
I mean, they can police mobile phones, as you said, and, you know, bicycle helmets for the safety of people in case they're in an accident and all that sort of stuff. Why would it be any harder to police headphones?
Maybe they should just make the headphones with the Discman just with one earphone, like they do the hands-free kit. Therefore, they can listen to the music in one ear and can also listen out for traffic or honking in the other.
Well, I think the technology is going towards like these huge things that actually block out any other noise other than the music. And
they
so
do it at their own risk.
I think the person has a responsibility themselves. I mean, obviously she was crossing a tram line, and as I said, it's very tragic, but if she was crossing a tram line, maybe she should have at that point taken the earphones off while she was crossing the road. So I mean, yeah, the makers, the police, they can't be made to take all the responsibility. The person themselves has to take some responsibility.
Maybe they should have like cigarette packets. You know, smoking causes cancer. You could have on the headphones. Wearing of these headphones whilst crossing the lights could take your life. And it's like, okay, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
You know, that's not such a bad thing. I mean, you know, Matt got a new mobile phone the other day, and it's actually in there. I mean, whether or not someone actually, you know, reads that is another matter. But, I mean, is it any different to someone that cranks up their stereo in their car, you know, to 13 or whatever, and blocks out all the other noise? It's the same kind of thing, really. When we're talking about in the car situation, that, you know, maybe the police can actually just try and identify that, like with the mobile phones. But when people are walking down the street, they're not going to stop someone at a crossing and say, oh, just a reminder for you to take your headphones off. That's something that really
I've got another idea.
Of.
You have a jammer at the lights, right? So when you come close to a crossing, just jams the signal going to your headphones. Yeah. And so you got to go and take the headphones off.
You deaf.
And then it sends you deaf. What? No, it just jams the transmission of the sound. Yeah. And I mean, obviously they overcome it and hack it and whatever, and it'll be, you know, on the internet the crack for it in, you know, 2 days. But still, you know, at least you're taking measures. And we could spend 20 million actually on that, and you know, we could all feel good about it.
Or we
Natalie,
could just be more aware. Sorry.
Be more aware. What, take responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we've got to put signs on everything, don't we? We've got to alert people in big red letters. Take headphones off.
I think people are relying. That's a problem. People are relying too much on other people telling them, putting these warnings. I mean, people have to, like I said before, people have to start taking responsibility. We shouldn't have to be told all the time and put signs everywhere.
But unfortunately, society is not turning that way now.
Time, settle down, you lot. Unbelievable. Sarah.
Well, society's not turning that way. I mean, we're following more in the steps of America where we can just sue and, defer responsibility.
We've been there before, haven't we? We all think that we should take more responsibility, but then for some reason more signs pop up and, we're told all these things and, all these measures are taken to prevent us, causing injury to ourselves and all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? What do you do? Danielle, I think you've got the answer.
I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think, if I'm sorry to what happened to that girl. It was her own responsibility. She knew what would happen when she was walking across a tram line with or without headphones on. She knows that it's obviously commonly used by trams. I think the jammer idea is a fantastic one.
Thanks. You can come back on the panel. You'll be back next week, but Natalie, I'm afraid you're going to have to go. You haven't complimented me once in this whole segment.
I did at the start of the show. I told you that you looked really nice.
I don't recall that. And now you're lying to me to add injury to insult. Sarah, compliment me and you can come back.
Oh, I think we have to go now, actually.
Scrapped. That's been Panel Beaters for another week. Thanks very much to Sarah, Nat, and Danielle. Right now we're going over to our next segment, which is Aunty Gert. Put it together, Aunty Gert.
Ah, dear, right. Hello, boys and girls. My name's Mrs. Sidebottom. But you all look like you're not hooligans. You can all call me Aunty Gert. What can you call me? Aunty Gert! Good. Right. Excuse me, boys and girls. I've got a little bit addled. I've got, what do you call it when you can't, when you're totally, for the life of me, I can't think, I'm drug fucked, boys and girls. I'm peeling off my tits this evening. That's putting it mildly. You see, I was doing the laundry at one of my nephew's places the other day, and in one of his pockets I found this packet of little white tablets, and I took one with my morning teas this morning. For research, you understand. And mind you, I did get caught. He came up to me a little bit later and he said, Aunty Gert, he said, you didn't find some little white tablets in my pockets, did you? And I was a little bit naughty. I said, oh, you mean those mini-omo tabs? Yes, I found them. I washed your slimy pyjama bottoms in them. They worked marvellously. Talk about hit the roof, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Within minutes, he was shaking like his mother's battery-operated panty straightener, and sweat was pouring out of him like a monsoon. He made such a racket, I had to lock him in the cupboard above the microwave to get some peace. So the point is, darlings, drugs are bad. You shouldn't take them unless you're over 80 and you need to liven up a lawn bowl session or a game of bingo. Which, I must say, worked a treat for me. But don't take them till you're well over 80. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go and sit with these young people over here, and we'll find out together how to have some good, clean fun without drugs, so that you don't have to be sitting at home watching television because you don't know where to score some goey. Right. Now, bear with me. Seems to get longer and longer, this stretch, every day. Now, who have I got sitting next to me here? I can get these specs on. Oh, hello, it's Matthew. How are you, Matt?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. Now, look, is there anybody here that takes drugs? Be honest. They're all very quiet up the back there. I think we might have a few smackies, but at least they're not boisterous. It's a straight audience, is it? You have to familiarise me with some of the modern lingo. What does straight mean? I mean, I know straight, but in this context.
Not gay.
Right. So they're a bit morbid. I don't know. Unhappy. This is going nowhere. Matt, what kind of things can you do without drugs that are still fun?
Slippery dips are good.
Slippery dips?
Roundabouts. Like the ones that spin around at fun parks.
Right, so that's the problem with the nightlife scene in Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane at the moment, isn't it? Not enough whirly gigs. Clearly, yes. Or merry-go-rounds. Because they've destroyed music, but the music on merry-go-rounds is still rather pleasant. So if they put them into some of these nightclubs...
probably better than some of the music they play there.
I would think so. Not that I've been in a long while, but it's... Yes. I think I'm having one of my spells again. I think it is. You know what? I think I'm going to go and have a lie down whilst this euphoric state wears off. Until next time, boys and girls, look after yourselves. God bless.
Hey, and you're back with myself, so that's a good place to be. Right now we're going over to our interview, a small talk interview, and that's with Nat and Sue Ostler. Let's have a look at that. Yeah. Over to Natalie.
Small talk. We've got a very special guest, Sue Ostler. Sue's a relationship guru and author, and she's written a book a few years ago called Get On With It, How to Be Sassy, Successful and Single. And she's got a great new book out called Relationships That Rock, The Smart Girl's Guide to Meeting and Keeping the Perfect Partner. So welcome to Chaos TV, Sue Ostler.
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for coming in. You've been on Chaos before, so welcome back to Chaos. You're a regular on Chaos TV. Now, Relationship That Rocks, I guess the book that you had before was Get On With It, sort of how to be a sassy, successful single. So I guess Relationships That Rock is sort of about meeting a new partner, so getting out there. So it's sort of a natural extension. It's a progression. Obviously, You've been single for a while. You want to get into a relationship. Is that sort of what compelled you to write the book? You wanted to, it's like a trilogy, sort of,
That's right,
trilogy type thing, keep on moving?
Because there was the first book which addressed heartbreak, my own
that was Get Over It.
Situation, Get Over It. And then the second book was me being the poster girl for being single rocks.
Yep.
How to make the most of your career, your life, being adventurous, travel, just go for it, have an amazing life. And the third life was me going, I want to get smashed, trashed and pashed just like everyone else and have a good time. And ironically, of course, and I think it's that cliche that at the very moment you're not looking or thinking about meeting someone, it's when it happens. So when I had a book coming out about being single and it was like hot off the press, that's when Mr. Right kind of came into my sphere.
They always say at least it happens when you least expect it.
And it's true. And I took one look at him and thought, forget about it, buddy. Too busy, too absorbed in my life, my career. But, and I think that sense of detachment can make you more attractive at the beginning of a relationship. If you're not available 24/7 and you're too busy because you're doing your own thing, then the other person tends to go, yeah, you seem really interesting because you're not readily available.
Now, the book is called Relationships That Rock. So tell us, what's the definition of a relationship that rocks?
Good sex, just kidding. I reckon it's really about staying true to yourself and not losing yourself in a relationship. I think my first book was born out of a heartbreak that came because I lost my identity to my partner. And this book was my way of saying, you can be in a relationship that's really sound and it's got all the right foundations, but you should take your time to build those foundations, and you should absolutely keep your own friends, your own interests. You should stay true to your career, to your hobbies, to your interests. Don't lose yourself in it. And if you can keep that part of yourself, and the partner's not someone who, makes you whole, because God knows you are whole to begin. If the partner is a complement to your already busy, fulfilling life, then you're going to have a great relationship because you don't depend on them for your happiness.
Okay. Now, the book has a lot of really great advice in it, and one of the chapters is about repackaging yourself for the singles market. So I wonder, what are some of the tips that you can give us for repackaging ourselves to sort of get back out there to find that relationship that rocks?
Okay, I think that repackaging, the term sounds really cheesy, like, oh God, what do I have to do, But it's really about a frame of mind.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes after a long relationship or an absence of a relationship, it's a bit daunting to throw yourself back into the dating arena. I think some nice things to do are to get online, practice your dating skills.
Okay.
Because it's risk-free, let's face it. Doesn't really matter if the person doesn't respond in the right way because it's all practice.
Sure.
I think that it's about being really confident about who you are and giving yourself some flirting challenges. So that if you go out one night with a bunch of friends, instead of just sticking in your little posse and not meeting anyone new, that you really make an effort to connect with someone. It might just be a smile across the bar. It might be a wave. It might be a wink if you're feeling really saucy. But it's really casual stuff. It's about feeling comfortable in your own body, expressing yourself, being vivacious, being confident, and that's what I mean by repackaging. I think that you should absolutely make an effort and get your hair done and be clean, have clean jeans. You know, don't eat a spaghetti marinara before a date because you're going to stink. You know, have clean hair, clean clothes, good breath, shiny, squeaky, clean, hygienic. That's where it all starts from. Good hygiene, I reckon.
Now, you talk in the book as well about being ready to, to get out there. So you mentioned about online dating. So where is out there? I mean, where do we go to look for this relationship that rocks?
It's a really good question, Natalie, because I think that we typically go to bars and to clubs and alcohol-fueled havens. I don't really think that they're so great because it's hard to find a like-minded person at a really loud
through beer
club.
goggles and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think, though, that interestingly, adult education has had an enormous increase over the past few months, and that's because lots of adults look at expanding their learning. So if you like photography as a hobby, rather than just, wander around with your photo, it's nice to pick up a course to do it part-time. It's nice to just rocket yourself out of your comfort zone. If you loved horse riding as a kid, but you haven't done it since you were 12, you can go anywhere and hire a horse. If you like scuba diving, swimming, body surfing, anything that really rocked your world when you're a kid, it's great to try those things now. They don't cost money. They put you at one with yourself, and you become confident about what you love, and you meet like-minded people. And if you don't meet your soulmate, you're likely to find someone who's got a cute brother, sister, cousin, who's going to invite you to an event. And
all the worst that happens is maybe just you make a new friend, I suppose, as
correct.
Well. So.
And that's a great thing because it means your social life starts to expand. The invitations start flooding in, become a social tiger, life starts to rock.
Now, you talk in the book also about how to spot a commitment phobe or sort of a dysfunctional sort of guy. How do you spot the commitment phobe?
I really think this is a bit of a gut instinct thing. I think we all know what we know, and I think that when somebody early in a relationship gives us a sign that they are dishonest, cheating, or that they are not as into us as we are to them, you know it in your gut. And I think if they give you evidence to back it up, you give them one chance, second chance, thanks, you're out of there. Yeah.
Now, you've got a website, www.vodkaandchocolate.com, and you actually run vodka and chocolate therapy and seduction sessions, and how they. So I want to know how do these sort of what is a vodka and chocolate therapy seduction session, and how can they help us, and where can I go to go to one of these?
Okay. Big question. Okay, the first thing is that we hold them at different places. We go to bars.
Yep.
I think it's good to have an idea about how to approach making friends in a bar. Not because it's the most desirable place to go, but because if you find yourself in one, it's good to know what to do. We have a 45-minute workshop, and I give basic flirting confidence tips.
Okay, yep.
And then we go out and practice our swanky bar etiquette in 4 or 5 different bars. And everybody is marked on their flirting challenge sheet, and everybody gets flirting challenges to try. So whether it's, getting a free drink from the bartender, getting a phone number, texting somebody that night, it's really just all about bringing people out of their shells, not being a wallflower when you go out, and getting encouraged by a group of like-minded people to just go for it. You only live once. You see somebody cute, you see a hottie, just go for it.
And you've had a lot of success stories out of that?
Yeah, I have actually. I have. More from people who, as you said, meet a new friend, stay in contact with them, and then from another social outing, meet somebody interesting. It's just a fun, great, feel-good thing to do. So total confidence boost.
That website.
And the vodka helps. Obviously, the shyness factor.
I was on the website the other day. There's heaps of information on that. So that's www.vodkaandchocolate.com. We're just about out of time, but there's a lot of tips in the book, but is there one tip that you can give us about how to get that relationship that rocks?
Reinvent yourself. Just do it. Think about who you are and think about who you want to be, and make that checklist and honour it. The things that can turn you into who you want to be, just go for it. Make it happen.
Excellent. Sue, the book is really great. It's Relationships That Rock, the Smart Girl's Guide to Meeting and Keeping the perfect partner. It's out right now, and Sue Ostler, thank you for coming back again to Chaos TV. We'd love to have you, and I'm looking forward to your 4th book. So
I'm exhausted by this one. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. So check out that website. It's www.vodkaandchocolate.com, and maybe I'll see you at one of those vodka and chocolate therapy sessions.
You're there. I'm
coming. I think we're going to have a chaos vodka and chocolate therapy session. We're all going.
We're going to need that.
All right, we'll see you again on Small Talk. Big thanks to Sue Ostler.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back. You're here with repackaged Lewis, and I don't really think Natalie would be seeing Sue at one of those things. I think she'd be blind and she'd be trying to wink with both eyes. And you can open them now, and you know it's like this flirting thing's just not working for me. What's going on? Anyway, stop with the laughter. It's really distracting, my train of thought. Relationships That Rock is the book, and what the hell, I'm just going to give them away. I don't care. I don't, honestly, I don't care. Give us an email, agent@chaostv.org.au. Oh, you managed to get up on the screen. That's great. Relationships That Rock, and we're going to give away, I don't know, 100 of them. Because I rock. And I'm trying to seduce you right now. Women all over Australia are going, oh my God, here is a case in point. This guy has done the course and he graduated with honours. And that's right, I did. You know it's true. That's the end of the show though. I know you're disappointed. The band next week is going to be the Chrissy Thomas. We've got Nottingham with Danielle, we've got Sportastic with Helen, we've got Panel Beers, Mirrorball with Laurence and David, Nick's Notes with Band Chimera, and the comedian, part 2 of our Rove interview, and more of me. What more could you want, I ask you? That's been Chaos for Another. I've been Lewis, and I'll see you again next week.